Hi, I'm Christan Griego with Edwards Instrument Company, and today with Ron Knaflic we're going to show you how to change out a spring on a spit valve on your trombone and change the spit valve felt itself. We're going to go over a few basic things for the job. Before you start to do this, you'll want to make sure you have your safety glasses, your spring cutter, your needle nose pliers, and your common small jeweler's screwdriver to remove the screw with. So before we get started, you want to pay attention to the orientation of the spring itself. Look at it and line up the new spring that you're going to be replacing in a like manner. One thing many people do is remove the spring from the slide and then they forget how it was installed previous. So you can see we're going to lay the spring in the correct orientation to the slide. Now you get your small screwdriver and you're going to remove the screw and you can see Ron is very careful to keep this away from all the lacquered bits so there can be no scratches when he does this repair. Once it's loose, then by hand he'll hold the tension spring down and remove the screw. Now he's ready to remove the spring itself, and with his correctly oriented spring he installs it. Sliding it over the shaft, it's now in a correct position to go back on. You'll see at this point he's going to grab his needle nose and crimp the spring just a bit. Now it's ready to go back on, but before we do that we're going to go ahead and change out the cork, or the felt in our case. It's not really a felt, it's a neoprene bumper per se. So you want to make sure, if you're going to do this job, you want to order these parts, the spring and the neoprene bumper, at the same time. You remove this with your screwdriver. At this point we're going to remove the spit valve cork, the neoprene, and install the new one. There's a little sticker on the back side of the neoprene. You remove this and then just install by pressing that into the little holder. Now we're ready to reinstall the spit valve. So first thing you want to do is get the two parts of the spring and tension it. Make sure to hold it. And now it's ready to be slid in place. And the screw reinstalled. Once it's centered, you want to get the threads started. This is kind of the tricky area. You want to be careful not to scratch anything. So he's tensioning the spring, getting the thread started. Once it's started, then it stays in place and you can just tighten it. Being careful not to get near the lacquered bits so you don't scratch your slide. Once it's firm, just give it an extra little turn, not too much, or the action will be hindered. Now it's time to trim the spring. With your cutter, you don't want to cut the spring too close to the saddle. So you'll see here that he's leaving about 1/8 of an inch from where he trims it. You'll also notice he keeps his fingers so he doesn't shoot the spring across the room. Make sure to have your safety glasses on at this point. Now grab your needle nose and grab the spring that's sticking out, and we like to do a little loop on it as such. If you cut the spring too short, it can, whenever you activate the spit valve, it can unwrap itself, and then you will have no tension on it. So it's always better to leave a little extra and then just do the current turn at the end. And this is how you change your spit valve spring.